you obviously, were you a good student prior to going into SEALs? Like, were you good at school at all? I mean, I just don't. I personally can't understand how you've taken this upbringing and then SEALs, and then all of a sudden, like, this business experience and marketing experience that you've basically created all of these different avenues for success. Like, where did that come from? Where did that sense of business come from?
So no, I wasn't a good student in high school. I barely did any homework. I don't think I read any books. I definitely didn't bring books home. I wouldn't bring books home from school. And it's a lot different now. My kids were doing 3, 4, 5 hours of homework every day. Yeah. I didn't do homework. And it's just a different time. I think there was less homework at the time anyways. Maybe that's just my bias, but no, it wasn't until I joined the military. And then, when I went to college, I got sent to college by the military, and I had been in for 10 years at this point, or I guess, 10 years. I'd been in for 10 years. I mean, I sat in the front row of every college class I had. I would literally get all hundreds on my tests, and I just would study and I would be prepared. So that's what, that came from being in the military and understanding how to apply myself and focus on things and wanting to win. A lot of times, when I went to college, I already was in the military. I didn't need to get good grades, but for me, it was just a competition against the teacher. I wanted to beat the teacher. I wanted to give them nothing that they could say anything about me other than you actually answered every single question right on this test. I've had fun with it. So
yeah.
So do you have some like tips and tricks for absorbing information? Because I think we're bombarded with information, right? And there's people who are experts who know a little bit about everything, but I think that we're losing that time when people are true deep experts. Like somebody who I spent 10 years of my life studying birds, which may be super weird, but that was like my passion and that's what I did. And
it's weird. It's super weird.
But I think there's something to be said for, you've obviously been able to like open books and retain the information to the point where the teacher cannot call you out. Like what were the skills?
I'm probably a good test taker and probably good at memorization. Not great at it, but good at it. And so I would read the book, I would highlight, I would take notes, and I would turn those notes into flashcards. And then I would run through those flashcards. I mean, there's a book called Tom Jones. I got it here in my library. In the first paragraph, it says, this is a book about human nature. Or the theme of this book is human nature. And we had a quiz on the first section of reading. And there was, 7 questions about the characters and who they were and what happened to them in these first chapter or whatever. But the first question was, what is the theme of this book? And I missed it. And, I went to the professor after, I was like, what is the answer to this question? She said, oh, it's in the first paragraph. And I missed it. And I was really bummed out because I guess I just read it too quick. But I would get, in that semester with that professor, that's probably the only question that I actually missed. I was such a nerd, man. My trick is I would read. I did all the reading that I was assigned. I would highlight the important things, the things I thought that were important, and then I'd make flashcards out of those things that I had highlighted, and I'd study them. And that's what I did. I probably worked. There's no trick, man. The trick is that I worked hard.
Yeah,
that was the trick.